Not like a second or third time it happened to us.
Wow.
It's weird, huh?
Yeah, I even checked my junk. It wasn't there.
Yeah, when
Strange.
I took the link and stuff like this, I just did, and then I went back to Zoom and like pasted the whole invitation. It's crazy.
Uh,
How you doing, brother?
Doing well. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, man. Really good.
Good.
After that last session, it was one and done.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Easy peasy.
That's cool. I figured that would happen. That's awesome. And thank you for referring Daniel, man. What a great guy.
No problem. He is a special soul, that man.
Yeah, yeah,
Just needs a little guidance.
yeah.
He's great.
He's got a heart of gold. You could tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, I appreciate today. I mean, just the progress you got was just amazing, and I just want to capture that before we move forward. So yeah, it's just really brief. I'm recording, so I'm gonna just edit a couple of bits out
Okay.
of it. So basically, like where you were before we started, what you needed, what we did together a little bit, where you are now, and then we'll tag it up with if people are looking for help, what could they expect from working with me.
Yeah.
So if you want to mention in the beginning, it's up to you. Maybe you're short fused. The reason I bring that up is because so many of my clients exactly what you're going through, especially my male clients. They're just like, they're juggling so many things. They're like, I can't do, just, okay.
Yeah.
How do I bring that level down? So, if you want to start with that, you don't have to get too personal, but if you want to start with that, that
No,
would
it's
be awesome.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
All right. So yeah, I mean, prior to starting with you, I was dabbling in meditation. Trying to, I guess, understand my awareness or my conscious, and just trying to kind of put things together. Things just never really quite felt right. I was always very anxious, always go, 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 juggling three businesses, a child, a family. Um, I could never really understand why there was so much fire,
Mm,
kind of, so to speak, in my gut.
mm,
And that kind of translated into, like you call it, knee-jerk reactions
mm,
that were very hard to control. And you know, it took a long time to understand that, and through obviously our work, which was profound, because there's always this constant chat about the ego,
mm,
um, and some people will say let it go, some people will say partner with it,
mm,
and I guess that journey is for everyone else to discover. For me, you know, our sessions coupled with the work that you had me do after,
mm.
I found that all the difference. So, obviously, this isn't my first time using hypnotherapy,
Sure.
and not to knock anybody else, but everybody has their own techniques. But I really admired the way you were able to break down um, the protection that I was creating for myself from past experiences
Mm,
and allowing me to work with that following our sessions. That was for me the key.
yeah.
Everybody tries to find the magic pill or the magic routine, so to speak. I'll lose weight in 30 days, and it takes work. And you know that, and you're very disciplined in your work, and you're disciplined with us, and it shows. And once you do the work, I mean, the outcome is unbelievable. I've gone from, you know, being very protected, very knee jerk reaction, so to speak, very short fused.
Mm,
The littlest things would kind of tick me off and frustrate me and either dictate my day or dictate my week. Whereas now, even through our sessions, one of them specifically stands out is where, talk about the screen door. Just kind of, would you rather be happy or would you rather be right?
yep.
And that little bit of information really hit home for me, clicked. I was able to put it together with the weekly work plus my own additional work on top of that. Really, some introspection through meditation, even just through awareness,
Mm,
understanding that the ego plays a role, but it doesn't have to be a predominant role.
right.
It's there when I need it to be there,
Right.
and that's kind of given me the joy in every day, more so in every moment,
Mm.
versus, trying to find my flow before was it was one day of every 2 weeks. Now it's if I have an odd day, it's odd. It's like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
What's going on? Oh yeah, I reversed a little bit. Let me sit down and think about this, and it's really nice. It's nice to be able to approach life with
Yeah.
a sense of calm,
Yeah.
a sense of respect.
Yeah.
Everybody's views are different, emotions, the projection. You don't know, like you said, you don't know what someone's going through and why they're saying what they're saying, or what's causing them to feel that way.
Right.
And so when you sit back and you sit behind the monkey mind and you say, hey, I don't know what this person's going through. Let me just let them go through it. And then I'll take a breath.
Yeah.
I'll respond. And that's been key. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, like you say. I was just working with a client a couple of days ago, and I was trying to explain the 100th monkey, the critical mass, where you're thinking 5149 positive, and then all of a sudden, everything just seems to line up like magnets. You know what I mean? Everything's like, wow, like you have a bad day and it's weird, where it's just the opposite before. Because I'm like so relaxed all the time that if something does throw me off center, first of all, I allow it to, and I just go there, and then bring it back. You know what I mean? If it does ever get that intense, but it's nice being on the other side of the coin where it's calm most of the time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like you said, some of the stuff you were bringing to the table from the past, and that's one of the things with a lot of my clients. It's about taking the lid off the well, I want to better my business and have no stress. That's like the lid. But when we get that lid off, all these triggers that we're bringing with us that sometimes we don't even realize. And like I told you, all behavior serves a purpose. It's you don't want that behavior anymore, but it's serving a purpose. Like you said, it was your armor. It was like your protecting shield. And I can't tell you how many clients I go through that have that. And it's like, well, of course I want my business better, but yeah, you gotta. Let's find that trigger. Let's get that trigger. Let's reverse it, and then it's gone.
I think that's the number one piece of advice I give, because I talk to a lot of business owners, and they see the change. People see the change. It's not just the way I look at myself, which is important as well, very important, the self-care aspect, and to love yourself. But you want to be successful in business, you got to work on yourself. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
the business, it's not the model, it's not the process, it's the person behind it.
Yep.
You got to give them attention, which is yourself in essence. But you got to give yourself attention. Your clients will notice it.
Mhm.
Your team or your employees will notice it,
Yep.
and they'll act behind that. So many times my staff, they'd feed off my energy. So most of the time I'm anxious because I'm always go go go, and I'm not really taking a breath, and I'm speaking. I'm cutting people off, and I'm just speaking, I'm speaking, I'm speaking, I'm ranting, and I'm spitting out knowledge, and I'm spitting all these facts, but it's creating anxiety without me even knowing.
Right.
Now I'll just be able to sit back and be relaxed,
Right.
calm, and take things at a very composed angle.
Right.
People catch on to that.
Mhm.
They love it. They want to be around you. They want to buy from you. They want to work with you. It's a completely different. I mean, if one thing for business owners, you work on yourself,
Mhm.
the rest will follow. The success will follow.
Yeah.
It has to.
Yep. Yep. And like you said earlier, that's you don't know what anybody's going through, and you're instead of that knee-jerk reaction, like we work together, that thought, feeling, emotion funnel, your own personal funnel. If you could sit back and take that brief second and just take a breath, and all great leaders, if you realize it or not, if you ask them a question, they'll go, yeah, and boom, three solutions just came up that quick because they're relaxed. You know what I mean? And so when you get your funnel in order, it doesn't matter what anybody's saying or doing to you. Like I tell people, there's no such thing as a stressful job, a stressful life, a stressful relationship. Those things are what they are. The way you're interpreting them, that's the whole game. It's all in your internal funnel, how you interpret it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we close that off at times, right? Just from all the stress and from all the commotion, and we forget that that's all it takes is for us to just sit back, like you said,
Yeah.
just observe,
Yeah.
but that's through the work. It's all through the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. Getting that internal funnel in order. It's funny because when I started with Daniel, again, thank you for referring your friend to me. And like the first few minutes we're talking together because he has a lot to work on. So he's talking a lot, which I need to know that information. But he looked at me, he goes, "You're so calm, man. It's freaking me out." I get that. I get that a lot. Like I'm so calm. People are like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, if I was any more relaxed, I'd be sleeping. I'm fine." What? It's like people aren't used to that energy, you know. So when you come into like, you know, I teach when you go into any meetings or like you said, working with your employees, it's just you come in with that different energy. People are like, what's he taking? What's what's he on? What's,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
where'd that change come from? It's a cool feeling because the whole room calms down. You know what I mean? They really do follow your lead. And I'm just always like, even with my boy, as you know, with your son, he follows my lead. I'm just, you know, he's 3.5, about to turn 4. He's got more energy than I've ever seen on the planet. But you know, if he gets a little out of rowdy, I just, you know, I'm always calm. So he knows, he just naturally pulls it back because I'm always there. You know what I mean? So like everyone, like a family life. And the last client I was working with, he was actually local out here in Vegas, and you know, arguing with the wife and the in-laws, and just didn't understand what was going on. And I did an interview with him, and he said, he's like, "I can't believe it's like, I don't argue with. I never got along better with my wife. We've been together 14 years, and I don't argue with her family anymore." It's like, you know, I walk in and it's just, it's like something's missing. It's like the charge isn't there because they know you're different, so they don't speak the way they used to speak to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's a really command of the room. It's a like a silent superpower in a way, you know?
it is. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So like where are you at now as far as like I mean, it sounds like you tipped over the 100th monkey, the critical mass, you're more times than not. So is it just like, does it come up once in a while, or is it just that you can think about it that quick and it resets? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, it's the work never stops. It's a constant journey for me anyway. It probably will be. It's still early, but it takes a lot now for me to get riled up. I know how to turn it on.
Mhm.
Like if I'm going to the gym
Right.
and I need a little bit of fire in me,
Oh yeah.
I'll immediately turn it. Like it's funny because it's like a how do I say it? Kobe Bryant said it perfectly.
Mm.
Rest his soul.
Yeah.
He made this persona, the Black Mamba.
Mhm.
When he stepped on the court, he was a completely different person.
Yeah.
He had a switch.
Yep.
He knew though how to do that. He didn't take that with him off the court. He was a spectacular being, from
Yep.
what I gather. I mean, I'd never met him, but
Sure.
family, his friends, everyone just kept praising him for the work he would do off the court, the person he was. But on the court, he'll destroy you.
Yep.
There's no mercy.
Yep.
So understanding that that's okay. I have that person in me.
Yep.
I do. And
Yep.
I know when to use it. So for me now, I'd say the last episode, actually, what episode happened this morning when my son was being extremely difficult
Mhm.
and tried to use distraction, tried to use everything. And, sometimes, the in laws get involved and they start talking, and it was just a lot of commotion. And then you start getting a little bit frantic, like, oh, wait, there's just so much going on. And I just sat back. Instead of saying anything, I just like, you know what? I feel it. It's coming up. I'm going to stop it right now. I'm going to sit back, let everybody have their conversation because I don't need to be involved in this right now.
Yep.
I don't need to be right.
Right.
I'm not. Nobody's offending me. They can speak freely. It's their mind.
Right.
But I'm able to identify and control.
Mhm.
And hopefully, I'll get to the point where you're at, where I don't even need to control it. It's natural, and that just comes with repetition.
Right.
But yeah, it still comes up every once in a while.
Sure.
Some people bring it out, but I don't. I try not to allow them. And what's crazy? I was actually in a meeting with the partners at the firm I represent. I was pitching a new idea, and at first the partners were thrilled, and then I went into a meeting, and I got what felt like completely ambushed. It
Mm.
went from they were thrilled with the idea to it felt just like a one-sided negative conversation,
Mhm.
and immediately I just stopped the conversation calmly.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, guys, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to hear me out and my ideas.
Right.
But clearly, this just doesn't seem like it's the right fit for you guys right now. So rather than waste anybody's time,
Mm.
I thank you. We'll just go back to the status quo. I got an email the next day
Right.
from the CFO saying, that was extremely astute uh, for you to just acknowledge where that conversation was going and politely redirect it. Because it could have probably, it felt awkward, it felt weird, and it probably could have got even worse.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, the old me would have I would have went up against the wall. I would have been defensive. I would have been
Yep.
probably would have said some things that wouldn't have went well with the
Right.
partners.
Right.
But I was able to just say, you know what? If they can't see the vision, if they can't see they don't have that vision, that outlook, the same that I do, then maybe they're just in a different place right now.
Mhm.
Maybe one day they'll align, they'll see it, and they'll come to me, and I'll wait for that day. But for now, I'm good the way I am. I don't need to change. And I think that in itself, that speaks wholeheartedly to the work. I mean,
Yeah.
I went from a complete bulldog to let me just
Yeah.
let me just relax into this for a minute. It was strange. I'm not gonna lie, because every part of me wanted to come out and just start. I wanted to rebuttal. I wanted to argue. I wanted to push, push, push. And I'm like, what for?
Yeah.
Why swim against the current?
Right.
Don't fight it. Grab your branch, get out on the other side,
That's right.
and call it a day.
It's okay to retreat. Yeah, that's that power of being in the now. Like you said, all great leaders have that. They're in the now. And when you realize the room gets weird, you acknowledge it. Like, okay, it just got weird in here. What's going on? And it's a win-win for everybody, or it's a win for you and you retreat. But it's always, you're always in control of that. I remember, because I studied martial arts my whole life, and this one school I went to when I was in Hollywood, all the way across the whole wall, never retreat in battle. I'm like, that's not good information. I run really fast. If there's 5 of them, I'm taking off, so it's sometimes you got to learn how to retreat. It's funny you say when you let it out when you're exercising, because the other day I was like explaining to people, like, when I do my bench press, I got 85-pound dumbbells in each hand. I do chest press. They're looking at me like, what? So I recorded it. I did a little clip. I said, hey, dude, will you shoot me on my last set? And I put the 85s up, and people were like, oh my God, like, I'd look like a different person, you know what I mean? And, I've been studying martial arts my whole life. I'm a 2nd-degree black belt. So I don't want to hurt anybody. So that's even another level of calm that I have, because, even if I have to separate people, it hasn't happened in a long time, but, I don't want that to come out. You know what I mean? It's there. Like you said, even emotionally, it's there, but it's like, and just knowing that when it starts to come up, it's just such an awareness. It's such a, okay, this is there's the meeting got a little weird. I felt like I wanted to fight. Let's refocus. Let's redo this. Let's put this in a different direction. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the thought, feeling, emotion funnel, like we were talking about. I think we referenced it when we were working together, but it's like, well, if you're so in control of your emotions and your thoughts and feelings, doesn't that make Jack a dull boy? Like, it dulls you down. It's like, no, it's the opposite. I can feel anything I want. I just choose what to feel. It's like, yeah, of course you could. The other day, my wife and my mom, she's been passed away for like 20 years, and they have the same birthday, which is weird. But anyways, she was standing here with my son. They were looking at a picture of grandma, my mother, and I was sitting here at my computer, and there's pictures right there on the wall of my family, and I was about the same size as my boy in my mom's arms. And my wife was like, "Yeah, it's your grandma. She's not here anymore." And I'm sitting there typing. All of a sudden, it's like, woo, I just felt it well up, man. I just started bawling. I'm like, it's like, okay. So I pushed back. I'm like, I didn't expect that today, but I sat in it for like 5, 6, 10 minutes and just said, yeah, I did feel good thinking about my mom for a second. Just got back to work. You know what I mean? So you don't fight it. You can choose to feel it. And it actually feels good when you do let yourself go there,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think, being calm necessarily means you don't have feelings, or, you don't have emotion, or you can't show that you're passionate. I show I'm passionate every day,
Absolutely.
with my work. But passion doesn't necessarily have to mean like fire, angry fire. I think that's that we think, the successful businessman is this hungry, passionate, go getter, got to win, win, win. But you don't need to say it out loud.
Yeah.
You can
Right.
feel it right here. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna smile when I do it.
Right.
I'm gonna be calm, but I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be in your face about it. So I think, that once you connect to your true self, like you said, then, man, it's actually scary, because, like you said, a friend of mine said it to me one time. It was my body coach back in the day when I used to perform. He's like, my I'm completely centered. He said, like you, like, he was, I can lift any kind of weight He goes, I can probably hurt you without showing any emotion,
Yep.
but I have it inside. He goes, you don't know about it. And I think, like you said, some of the great leaders, they're able to control that to a point where you don't even know what they're feeling, which could scare you because you're trying to get a rise out of somebody. If if you have that ego forefront,
Yes.
that ego is blaring, and you want a reaction from someone, you don't get it. That's just a well-centered person. Doesn't mean they don't feel.
Right.
Doesn't mean I don't feel. I feel all the time, like you said. I feel joy when I see my son running around. Sometimes when my wife ticks me off, I feel it.
Yep.
I just don't react the way I do, which before was pretty bad because I said that shield was up. I always felt defensive. I had to protect myself. I had to be the boss or wear the pants or whatever. Now I don't even care. My wife can wear the pants. Doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me.
Yep.
Go ahead, wear them.
And win every battle. Absolutely.
Go ahead. It's fine. You don't want me to do that? Yeah, it's fine. I don't. It's. I'm not fully there because it takes a lot. I think it takes a lot of work and dedication.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling it, and I don't want. I wouldn't rather be anywhere else. I want to be here, moving forward. And I can't wait to see what a year from now looks like. So, yeah, I mean, look, you could. There are many ways to get to where one has to go. I think the value in your sessions is the work in the subconscious, the things that you don't know are there or you don't know what the triggers are, and sometimes could take a long time to identify them. It could take a lot of introspection, a lot of meditation, a lot of asking yourself questions and then trying to remember these triggers. It's not to say you can't do it. It could be done. But you're talking about people who've done this for 10, 20 years and they're still figuring it out. Now, this is, for me, what this is a way to get there faster, more efficiently, and work on it to be better tomorrow versus working toward it.
Yes.
You're identifying it, working on it, and then you're working forward towards something else, which, it's like it's like eating McDonald's every day and working out. You're gonna get stronger.
Yeah.
You're definitely gonna get stronger. Yeah. But if you ate well, you ate the right amount of protein, vegetables, carbs, it's likely you're gonna get there faster than the guy eating McDonald's and working out. So, yeah, I think this is.
And I was going to say, I think what you're describing almost is like conscious therapy. When someone just sits on the couch and talks with the conscious mind, how does that make you feel? It makes me feel like shit. That's why I'm here talking to you. And that lasts 10 years. I mean, so what is, because the work I do, I listen to the story that you tell. And then I say, oh, there's something under that piece that you just said out loud that maybe you didn't even realize you said. And I go, there's something back here that's causing, because all behavior serves a purpose. And I listen intently and I go, wait a second, what you just said, and some people just live that story without even realizing there is an underlying current and trigger that's the reason they act that way. So yeah, I tell my clients, I say, listen, I'm going to ask the tough questions. We're going to dig right in. We're going for it. You know what I mean? So we're going right to the triggers and replacing them. It's just that simple. And you actually feel like a different person when they're replaced. It's an amazing feeling.
It is. To be fair, it feels uncomfortable at first. It feels very uncomfortable. And that uncomfort, if you don't continue the work, could trigger you to revert. But understanding that it's okay, it's completely, like you said, you're completely changing. You're completely changing. And within a week, something that has been there your whole life. And you thought, why is this happening? Why can't I control this?
Right.
And you just fixed it in a week. It's going to feel uncomfortable and awkward. But then once you sit into it, whew, you're like, what the heck? Why was I holding on to that?
Yep. Yeah.
Let's move on to there.
Yeah, it is. Change is awkward. Change is just that. It's like, this is different. This is weird. Okay, I'm going with it because this is where I want to go. But you almost kind of like, and part of it's almost like it's just gone. Because when we replace a trigger, it's like, it's mostly gone. And it's just like, wow, I used to be really upset there. This is weird. Good weird, but this is weird. It's just not there anymore. So yeah, that's awesome. Yes. Again, thanks so much for doing this for me, John. I appreciate it so much. So if somebody's looking, to work with me, one of the things I always tell people, because I have so many male clients that come through that, they say, I couldn't even tell my wife how I felt with the anxiety and the stress. And they feel like they can't share with anybody. Like nobody knows what they're going through. You know what I mean? And so just like reaching out to someone like me, what would you advice would you give them?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I gotta be direct with this.
Well, kind of like, we told Daniel when he was going through some
I
stuff.
said to what I said to Daniel. Here's what I said to Daniel. I said, look, you obviously you're for a young guy like yourself who's got a great heart. You're going through some things. We see it. We talk about it all the time, and talking about it is great.
Mhm.
But if I told you you can act on it, if I said, for instance, if you're scared or you have a fear of letting something go, you could continue down that path for months, maybe even years. Or if I told you you can have that, I wouldn't say fixed, but if you could understand it and move past it within a week, would you do it? That's how I got. That's how I said it to Daniel, and Daniel was like, "Absolutely." I said, "Then you need to talk to Kelly." You can hold on to whatever you want. You can question it. You can say, my business is suffering. I'm suffering. I don't want to operate this way. You're acknowledging it. That's great, but take the step.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. If you know that's the case, waiting is the only prison.
Yeah.
Take that leap.
Yeah.
And you're never going to look back. I don't think anyone that does any work on themselves or with you will ever look back and say, that was a waste. I please call me. I'll put my number on this thing. Call me if that happens to you. I doubt it.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're in a place of question, the next step is just being brave enough and courageous enough to take action on it and say, I don't need to be this person. I can be a better person.
Yeah.
And I can be a better person tomorrow.
Yep.
Not a year from now.
Yeah. Like you said, the work is done inside of you. You do the work every week. And when we get together, and there's work every day. We call it work. It's just putting headphones on, but it's, you have to do it. You have to do the work. And I remember I was talking to another coach I was working for, trying to work online with my business. And he's like, Tim, Tony Robbins has like 7% success rate with his clients. I got like 30% success rate. And I thought, I got 100%. I mean, everyone that does the work gets the work done. And it's like, well, yeah, because I'm the template, I'm the guide. And I set it up inside you, 70 trillion cells in your body, all being reprogrammed when you're thinking from the subconscious level. That's why my work is quick and permanent, because it's done inside of you. We move on and it's done. So, we're not talking for 10 years about, oh yeah, well, my mom was an alcoholic. Like, oh no, let's not talk about that again. Let's just go read. If I couldn't manage being a conscious therapist, I was working with this woman. I was like, so you can't tell them what to do? She goes, no, legally, I can't tell them what to do. I'm like, that's insane. I tell people what to do all the time, how to fix it. I'm like, oh my, so you just have to listen to them next week again? I was actually working with a woman. She was from Russia, and she came in for weight loss, and we dug up the triggers of her grandmother giving her bread and butter for a treat because she was a good girl, and that's where she put on the weight. And like I really helped her change, and she was getting her dissertation for her. She was going to be a psychiatrist, and she goes, listen, she actually stopped her college degree right there. And she said, it was in LA. She goes, I'm going to HMI, Hypnosis Motivation Institute, where you went, because you help people a lot more than I ever could. I'm like, wow, that was amazing. I was like, yeah, that's conscious therapy. You can't talk it out. The conscious mind is the part that's out of control. You can't talk it out. You just can't.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, there's value in people that just need to get things off their chest and have comfort in talking to someone.
Yep.
But if you're looking to accomplish, you're looking to grow, and you're looking to get there in a reasonable amount of time to get yourself out of that state of suffering. There's no doubt in my mind that this is the way to go. It works. Look at me. I mean,
yeah.
You should post one of my first sessions before we spoke.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it took a little while in the first session to break through and, just realize that, I mean, I could tell your defense is open right away, which is normal, but, I try to throw a couple jokes in there, try to break the lid open a little bit and just, this is okay. We're going to work on this and it's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that that's the key that you should be promoting. It's 100% success rate.
Yeah.
It is. If it's like quitting smoking.
Mhm.
You know, if you don't truly want to quit, nothing will help you.
True.
There's no hypnosis, there's no pill, there's no patch, there's no, because you're not there mentally and spiritually.
Right.
But if you want to, just like I'm sure people who are calling you, they know there's something and they want to work on it. And with your techniques and the work that you ask of your students or your whoever your partners as you call them, um, it has to be 100% success rate. It's incredible. There's no yeah, I just don't see how you don't succeed if you're consciously there and you're working with the subconscious to make someone the person they want to be.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
100% success rate.
It is. Yeah, it really does work. So again, I thank you for sharing. This is really, anyone out there that's going, yeah, God, I am going through that. And it's, God, there is help out there. Holy cow. I thought I was the only one feeling this and thinking this way,
Yeah. I would say even put me as a referral contact if someone says, hey, can I speak to any one of your previous or even current um, what do you call us, clients, partners, whatever,
Yeah.
clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, give them my email, tell them to reach out or her. I gladly, help them understand what the benefits are.
No, I appreciate that greatly. Thank you. That's awesome.
No
Yeah. Very cool. All right, John, we'll wrap that up
Right.
there. And again, thank you so much for helping me out today.
No problem. No problem.
Right.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah. Thanks, John. Oh yeah. Yeah. We're going, yeah, I was gonna, yeah, we can
going
wrap.
to Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. Next Saturday. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's here already. Yeah. Next Saturday. So, I'll reach out when I get back, see if, where you and Christine are with the work, but, what about the energy?
Yeah. So he ordered it.
Okay.
So he said as soon as it comes in, then I'll, like I said, I'm going to tape it. I'll send you the signal video, the whole kit and caboodle, toss it in the mail and do one of these.
Yeah. Right. Well, actually, it was funny because I was telling you about, I was mailing my book to Canada. It was like, I was mailing it to Joel, but after I got off our call, I'm like, oh, he knows too well. He knows Joel. And so he just texted me today. He's like, oh, I got the book. Thanks so much. Because I sent him my book. And when I went to the post office, they're like, they're going to open this. It's not going to make it across the border. I'm like, it's a book. What are you talking about? So yeah, he got the book today. So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. So I was thinking maybe after I get back, just so it doesn't sit, it doesn't go back to the post office here.
Oh, you don't have? Do you have a mailbox or no?
No. Well, it's a small one. It's like a group.
It's just
like
going to come in. I was going to send it in letter format. You just get a regular piece of mail from from I don't know. You get like a statement in the mail from your bank statement. It's just going to come in a regular envelope.
Right. Right. Yeah, I was just thinking, just because what it is, maybe wait till
Back.
I'm coming back. Yeah, just for the hell of it. Just because the box out there, so like we share one box on the whole street here, and they're like small.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to go back to the post office.
I'll get it. I'll hold it. When you tell me you're ready, I'll put it in the mail.
I'll reach out when I get back. Awesome.
Okay.
All right, John.
Thanks, Kelly.
Have a great weekend, brother. Thank you so much. All right.
My pleasure. All right.